It is surfing at its most suicidal, where the stakes are as high as the waves.
I get scared seeing the waves. Oh my God, that looks massive, or that looks so dangerous.
How much do you fear that he may not come home one day?
Sometimes a lot. Sometimes it's not so bad, but...
These are the biggest waves on Earth, and those who ride them are either the bravest or the most foolhardy surfers in existence. 34-year-old Andrew Cotton is one of them.
If you didn't have fear and you didn't respect the ocean, then you probably wouldn't live very long on the sort of things that I do.
Earlier this year, Andrew took off on what some have called the biggest wave ever surfed.
The whole board's literally just taken off.
So you're flying.
And that's how fast I was going, like so bumpy.
Wow.
And it seemed like minutes before it actually hit me. And I don't know how long I was under for, like seconds, maybe 10 seconds maximum.
But that's longer than riding the wave.
Yeah. Don't describe it like that.
Devon, on Britain's far south coast, a place where the waves are few and lifeguards have it easy.
Yeah, go ahead, mate.
The main threats to life here are sunstroke, when the clouds eventually break, and catching a cold when they don't. And while surfing is popular, it's hardly Bells Beach or Waikiki. Have you put a few noses out of joint that, you're this pom from, like, no surfland?
We get surf, let's surf.
The closest Andrew gets to water on most days is as a plumber, his trade to fall back on. But while he's laying pipes, he's dreaming of pipeline.
Every job that I do and everything that I've done in the last 20 years has been about achieving an end goal, and that is to ride giant waves.
So when you're physically plumbing, where's your mind?
In the ocean, surfing. But they don't tell my customers that.
From when he was a young boy, Andrew's ambition was to be a pro surfer.
I wanted to be a professional contest surfer or whatever, and there was just one massive problem that I just wasn't any good.
Then Andrew discovered something about himself. When the waves got bigger, he got better.
When the waves got bigger, I seemed to sort of come into my own. I tend to be better at surfing bigger waves. For me, it's about pushing myself.
Over the next few years, Andrew became one of an elite group of surfers whose passion is to take on enormous waves, often generated by Atlantic cyclones that send massive swells to smash against the European coast. And the big daddy of them all is Nazare in Portugal, not a place for the faint-hearted.
I don't go into the ocean half-hearted or it's just like, right, I want this, this opportunity is not going to come again.
But there would be no big wave opportunity without jet skis.
Yeah, these waves are moving so fast, and Nazare is it's not like the waves don't break in one place, they shift all the way across. And this is a safe way to surf like giant waves.
And where a stranded surfer looks more like an ant caught in a washing machine, the jet skis, driven by fellow surfers, ride in to the rescue. Operating in the very jaws of these terrifying breakers, it sometimes takes as much skill and sheer guts to ride the jet skis as it does to catch the waves themselves.
When I met you in the summer.
You can swim, can't you?
Yeah, I don't want to have to, though. With no waves to surf on a sunless day back in Devon, Andrew is right at home training on his jet ski. This is what it feels like in what's barely a ripple. I can't imagine what it must be like in waves 100 times this size.
So yeah, I like surfing big waves. I like going in straight lines.
And you like going fast.
And I like going really fast, yeah.
And when you finish that wave, and you've survived,
Yeah.
what is that feeling like?
It's like you're against the whole ocean. You know, it's like moving mountains. Like these mountains that sort of coming at you left, right and centre. You know, it's a crazy place. It's a crazy place.
To maximise his chances of both success and survival, Andrew has specially designed boards, extra short to be towed behind the jet ski.
This is my tow board.
And extra heavy to keep him positioned on thousands of tonnes of moving water. And when all that water crashes down on him, Andrew has a kind of aqua parachute.
So it's just like a rash vest.
It's like a rash vest, but
so it goes under your suit.
Right.
It just pulls.
Wow.
And it goes like blows up, and then you can deflate.
Right.
And it deflates, and then you got like 4 pulls.
But for all that, on a given day, Nazare is sometimes the wildest piece of sea on Earth. And the risks to those who dare to try to tame it are very, very real, though Andrew denies it's dangerous. Are you mad?
No.
Have you actually seen what you're doing?
Yeah, it's calculated risk. It would be mad to go out there without safety stuff, without a jet ski, and you know that would be like suicidal.
Yeah, I understand that you're calculating your risks, but you are surfing waves that have never been surfed before. So how can you actually truly know the real risk? Whether all this stuff, right,
Yeah.
will hold up for you. You don't know that,
Yeah,
do you?
no. But then, that's exciting. You know, you're pushing it.
And while Andrew's always pushing it to the limit, so far he has avoided serious injury. Which is good given that there's more than plumbing waiting for him back home.
Got my shoes on.
Andrew is a husband and a dad. There's 2-year-old Ace and 6-year-old Honey and his wife Katie, a musician.
Do you understand the passion?
I do, not personally in big wave surfing, but passion and calling, I understand, but definitely nowhere near the water for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I used to have nightmares about as a child, I suppose, being faced with a huge wall of water. So it's a bit ironic, really.
You're living your nightmare.
I'm living my nightmare, yeah.
February this year, and the first reports came in of 2 massive swell systems building up. One off Nazare, Portugal, the other off the wild coast of Ireland. Andrew watched the weather, having to toss up between the two, having to make the surfing decision of his life.
It stresses me out, and that's the most stressful bit. So like a swell comes, and you're like, no way, it looks going to be big, right? Loads of places going to be good. It's like, where do I go? So now I've got one shot at this, and it's all about making the last call, like the last possible call.
He chose Nazare, where on the morning of February 2nd, waves were coming in estimated at between 20 and 30 metres, the height of a 10-storey building, and infinitely heavier.
Like, without a doubt, like the biggest waves I've ever seen, but the conditions weren't good. It was lumpy and bumpy, and that like makes it really tough to surf.
The core big wave surfers all ventured out. But it was at 9:47 a.m. that Andrew rode into the history books. He took off on a truly monstrous wave. For 10 awesome seconds, he stormed down the face of this moving cliff of water. Then the wave outran him.
And I thought, I'm going to hit like flat water. But I didn't even get to hit flat water. It just like sort of caught me up and like, I suppose I've been hit by a car or something, like full on impact.
How much do you fear that he may not come home one day?
Sometimes a lot. Sometimes the day goes by very slowly, and I've got a really good support of friends and family here. Sometimes it's not so bad, but
It must be terrible sometimes.
it is sometimes. Yeah, but that's just when when you let yourself feel the worst case scenario, which you do.
Andrew survived his giant 25-metre wave and became a headline around the world. Officially, he missed the world record by a metre or so. But whatever the record books show, there's no doubt it was one of the biggest waves ever ridden.
He didn't even sort of show off about it really afterwards. He was like, yeah, I only got one today, and that was literally what he said, I just got one wave.
I could have hammed it up a bit and gone, yes, yeah, woo! Biggest wave ever, you know, whoosh. But no, it's just like, you know, that's not my sort of persona. But when you look at the footage and the photos, you're like, actually, that's probably a pretty special wave that I got. It's just a shame there's only one.